The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Yes. So we're sitting here in downtown Kansas City at the WKC and with Monica, one of the owners, right? Co-owners, you and Rachel, is that her name? Yeah. And so we appreciate you sitting down with us today. This is, like I said, a very new podcast. And
for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, Ashley had come across one of your posts on Instagram. It was like, there is this new female-centered sports bar in downtown Kansas City. And we're like, we have to talk to them,
Yeah.
Because that's one of the main things that, we're all three women. We don't know, we grew up not, in the sports world, but not really being taught about it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so just to be able to sit down with somebody who clearly knows more about it than we do.
Sure. To a certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I wanted to start off by, asking you, how did this come to be? How did you and Rachel come up with this? What was the motivation to have this, female-centered sports bar?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of motivations, to be honest. Personally, I've always loved sports. I grew up playing soccer as my first love.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But I also grew up with my dad around hockey. He played hockey his whole life.
Oh, nice.
So I learned hockey from an early age.
Yeah.
That was kind of one of our bonding things. We would go to games together and I swam, I played softball, I played soccer. I was kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing to do, was play sports. So I've always loved sports. When I went to college, I didn't play anything focused on, doing the college thing. Didn't want to get wrapped up in playing sports. So I studied business and I got myself through college like a lot of people do in the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
And, so I've always wanted to work in sports, but not really sure how to make that happen. So I got my first job out of college. I kind of just took that path, and ran with it. And I was in IT and tech for 20 years.
Okay.
And then Jenny Wynn opened the Sports Bra in 2022 in Portland.
Okay.
And it was kind of just a light bulb, because Rachel and I had been going to bars asking for them to put on women's games for years.
Yeah.
And always getting kind of that side eye of what are you talking about? Why would we put that on?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And God forbid they ever put the sound on. That was definitely not happening.
That was too much. That was an extra level.
Yeah. So, so we just decided, wow, light bulb moment. For that to be a possibility. So we were living in Omaha at the time, and it started to rattle around in my head of I would love to do that. That combines my three loves of sports, business, and hospitality. But Omaha didn't feel like the right place for us to do it. And so I just kind of put it on the back burner. And then we moved here in late 23.
Okay.
When Rachel got a job down here, and CPKC was just about to be finished building.
Yes.
The Current were having a great season.
Yeah.
And I was just really excited about the stadium. And so I finally, that light bulb just wouldn't turn off. And I was like, you know what, this is the place. I think that Kansas City would support it.
Yeah.
I think that there's a need for it, a want for it. And so I wrote the business plan in early 24, started kind of putting it out to friends and family, asking them what they thought about it. No one said stop. And so by September of 24, we had our lease signed on this place.
That's
and
awesome.
It took us a long time to get under construction, but then we opened October 16th. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So all of those things were, inspirations behind it, but really, having a place where you could come watch a women athlete on TV the same way that we watch men,
Absolutely.
sports. We consider them to be on the same playing field. So we play both men's and women's sports, but we focus on women's. And we mostly have the sound on for women's games. And so to have all of those things combined and be a safe space for people to come enjoy women's sports, that's really what the inspiration was behind it.
I think that's so important. And I think in general, women's sports is becoming more mainstream, which I love. We've talked a lot on our podcast about The PWHL, right, is coming up. So they have, what is it, 8 teams now that they have?
Yes.
Yeah. And then they were talking about expanding, and then the women's baseball league is coming. So we're trying to talk more about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So no, I'm glad that that voice in your head kept pushing you, because I agree with you that there is a spot that's needed. There is something that's needed like this.
Yeah.
I think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the KC Currents is the first women's soccer stadium in the world, right? Like it's the first one meant specifically for women's soccer.
It's
if
absolutely
I'm not
right.
mistaken.
Yep,
Yeah.
the first purpose-built stadium for a women's sport.
Yeah, and so I'm originally from North Carolina. That's how, I mean, Ashley and I know each other from 10 years now from there. And my best friend lives here with her family. And so my husband and I moved out here to have like that, support system. And I have just been floored by the amount of support I've seen for the KC Currents, and people really wanting that stadium here. And then the World Cup's coming next year. So I just love what a sports town this is. And Raleigh, North Carolina, where we're from, is as well, because we have the Carolina Hurricanes there.
Sure.
But it's different here because we have, we have the Mavericks, we have the KC Currents, we have the Royals, we have the, the Chiefs. So, and so what has in your experience been the response of the community? It is such a sports-centered community, and I'm glad that we're seeing that more women's sports are taking, the forefront of our media. So what have you seen as a response to the Dub so far?
Yeah. No, absolutely. You're right. It is a sports town. And the response to the Dub has been overwhelmingly positive. I mean, we have a lot of regulars already. We have a lot of love in the city for the KC Current and what we're doing, just to, it comes through in that. And it's just wonderful to be able to see people come in with a big smile on their face, like knowing they're going to get the game they want, or that we're going to have the sound on. That has really been the most rewarding thing. So the response has been great. And, we were packed for all the KC Current games we've been open for, which is great. But what we want to remind everyone is that, we're not here just for the Current. Like, we're here for all women's sports.
Yeah.
So, come in on an off day and like check out a new sport. PWHL, the Frost play at 3 today. Like, I can't wait to put that game on and just see, and just watch it. I love watching hockey, but
we plan on staying for it.
Oh,
for a little while, by the way.
Awesome. Fantastic.
To watch it. Yeah.
But yeah, so, that's kind of what we're really driving now, is like, extend the love of women's sports and the viewership and the promotion of women's sports just beyond the Current.
Yeah. And I think that in general, it's important for our younger generation as well. I have 2 nieces, and one's 15, one is 10. And they're like, there's a women's, centered sports bar. I'm like, yeah, there's a women, like, that's just for them to even know that that's possible. Is, I think, important as well, to just have that space within the community. So I think it's great. And I'm glad to hear that there is a positive response to it.
Awesome.
And so with that in mind, with the Olympics and everything coming up, do you have any plans for, the Olympics? Like, are you going to put anything special going on at that coming up?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, we will be showing the Olympics for sure, the World Cup in July, I guess we're backtracking here, the Winter Olympics in February.
Yes.
That's where we are so pumped for that. I mean, I am a huge fan of all winter sports, growing up in Colorado. Yeah. I skied, hockey, I skated, all these types of things. So having all of those and having a focus on those sports that, only get broadcast really on an infrequent basis. But really, showcasing all of those will be really fun. And I know that like the hours and the time zone, might be a weird thing, but we'll figure out how to adjust.
For sure. I feel like everybody does. We all kind of have to move around, even like at home watching. It's like, okay, we have to watch this. But I particularly like watching hockey. And so I grew up, I'm a Buffalo Sabres fan.
Okay.
But then I grew up, because my folks are from Buffalo. And so, but then they just kind of haven't been great in the last decade or so. And so the Carolina Hurricanes have been much better. So my husband's a big Canes fan, so that's like my second team. But and I love watching the Olympics and just like the camaraderie you get with other people watching it too. And I think that's going to come through a lot in February whenever the Winter Olympics come around.
Yeah, I think there's something special about watching your country on the main stage. You know, I mean, we all have our own teams. Like I'm a Colorado Avalanche fan. But,
yeah, I get it.
you know, but we all have our own teams, and that kind of, we all love a sport, and so you know the camaraderie is there. But it really comes through when you're all rooting for the same country.
Absolutely.
That really kind of changes the dynamic. So while we all have our own fandoms and our own teams and stuff like that, and it's nice to have friendly competition.
I agree.
But when you're watching your country do something, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, and I love that the way that women's sports is changing the way that people are looking at women's sports. So people are finally paying attention. Like, for example, figure skaters, right? So growing up when I was a kid, you'd watch this and they'd be in like really pretty outfits, and they still are and everything. But then, like, as you learn the athleticism that goes behind it, and you're like, the core on this woman.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
And just in general, like skating, like they're all muscle, you know? And so I love that people are finally starting to say, okay, like this is amazing athleticism too, right? On top of everything else that women have to unfortunately navigate within their sports, within their own sports.
No, without a doubt. Yeah. That's so true. You know, so often it gets overlooked on what the training that goes into it. And, you know, there are so many natural athletes and there are so many that just really need to work at it. And they have dedicated their life to do it. So we should be treating them just like any male athlete that's dedicating their life to it.
Completely agree. Yes. And so my hope is that the more that we're seeing this on TV, on YouTube, on, you know, Instagram, the more that this is going to come to the forefront and people are going to start taking it, like, and I say people as in like mainstream media and sports channels are going to start actually paying attention to it. So I'm so excited, especially for baseball. Like I cannot wait for baseball. So I don't want to take up too much of your time, but is, you know, are there any other major events that are coming up aside from the Olympics that you're really looking forward to?
Gosh, I mean, even as soon as next weekend, there's this, it's called the World Sevens, and it's soccer kind of tournament that has a really big payout, and the Kansas City Current have a small team that are going to be in that. So you know, it's fun to watch the Current anyway. So
absolutely.
To watch them in kind of a tournament style fashion will be super fun. Really excited for Unrivaled season to start. You know, this is just their second season, but like there's so much excitement behind it. It's a fun, fast-paced game. People have, you know, their teams already, like as if the league has existed forever. So it's really fun.
Awesome.
Then we get Winter Olympics, and then we're in March, and we've got, you know, college basketball, March Madness.
We're Duke UNC area people, so we get that.
You definitely get
that.
Madness. So to have those rivalries, to have a bracket, to have, you know, all of that kind of watch party happening will be super, super fun. And then, you know, and then we're back into the NWSL season. Like, you know, January is really the only kind of quote unquote slow month. There's just so much to look forward to on how much women's sports is being broadcast these days, how intense the player agreements are getting. And that's, you know, when you get into kind of the minutia of what they're asking for, it's really not anything out of the ordinary or like they're asking for things that the men get. So it's like, why can't we just accept that?
One day.
And they're getting, you know, bigger media rights deals and all of these types of things. So when you think about all of those things put together, I just think that, you know, the trajectory women's sports has been on is going to just continue to explode.
I agree.
And I think 26 is going to be a ridiculous year.
I'm so excited to hear that. Have you worked or heard from any like women's sports teams in Missouri? So like the Casey Currents, or you've worked with them or talked to them?
We have a great relationship with the Current. We're considered one of their like official watch party bars.
That's awesome.
We got to do the Casey Baby Chant back in June. Which was super, super fun. We've been, we've met with Raven, their president. We have a great relationship with them, and I think that's going to keep growing. The Kansas City Glory is the KC Pro women's tackle football team. Great relationship with them.
That's good to know.
They just finished they do their signing day at the beginning of January. And the KC Jazz, which is the rugby team, KC Roller Warriors, roller hockey, the Kansas City women's hockey team. So yeah, I mean, we're that's, you know, we don't want to just focus on the pro stuff and the stuff that is widely distributed. You know, we Kansas City is such a great community.
It really is.
And so focusing on our, you know, pro teams that aren't getting the national attention, or they are getting national attention, but making sure that we are broadcasting them when possible is also very important to us. All of our college teams, surrounding states included. You know, Kansas City is definitely a hub for a lot of different types of a lot of different alumni and things like that. And so having those connections, we love watching our college sports. So yeah, I guess to all that to say, you know, we have a lot of great relationships with the local teams and the pro teams, and
that's wonderful.
Just continuing, you know, to push the initiative forward, because I do think that Kansas City can support a WNBA team and a WHL team. So.
Yeah, we're really rooting for the WPHL team, so we really would love that. And then the MLB, well, not MLB, excuse me, the what is it, the women's. Thank you, WPBL. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Bad with acronyms.
No, there's so many of them. I completely understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I just think that Kansas City has a huge love for all sports.
I agree.
And so I think that bringing in more women's teams is a no-brainer.
Yeah, and honestly, this is part of the reason we wanted to do this podcast as well, is because, you know, a lot of people don't know about those teams, right? And so, like, obviously the KC Current is big, but the other teams that we had talked about, and they don't know about that. And that's why I want to do this. And I know that's why Ashley and our other co-host Shai wants to do it as well, because it's just like, it's so important to cover all of it and to learn about all of it. And I, like, for example, when I go home, I'm looking at the rugby team you just mentioned, because that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Watch this now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have some of their team was actually selected to be on a, you know, like an All-American team or something of that nature. And so they're playing in a game on Saturday, next Saturday the 6th. We're going to broadcast it here.
That's awesome.
A bunch of the teammates are going to come watch it. So,
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it is.
So do you have like an event on your website, like an event calendar that people can go to, or should they follow you on Instagram, Facebook, that kind of deal?
Yeah, we do have an event calendar on the website that I am bad at updating and will get better at, but it's just one of the many puzzle pieces to keep intact during this you know, we've been open a little over a month. So
I mean, I feel like you're killing it.
And it flew. It flew. So event calendar on the website. Our socials are updated every week with what we call a watch schedule, so that you kind of know for sure what we're going to have on the screens. But our motto is, like, if it's being broadcast and it's a team you want to watch, we will do everything we can to put it on.
Absolutely.
So while we create a watch schedule to kind of highlight those main teams, local or national, like the U.S. women's national team tonight, that's what we're highlighting on the watch schedule.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And I really appreciate you sitting down with us today. Did you want to ask anything before we wrap up? Okay, so the question was, just in case, because I'm mic'd up here, does Monica have any advice for people who might want to open up a similar space within their own town?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the more women's sports bars we can have, the better. And you know, there are, with a stone's throw from here, we can hit like 4 sports bars that are showing all men's sports, right? So if they can exist together, and why can't we have more bars that are focused on women's sports, right? That's the mentality. And I would say that one of the things that really got us through the hard times was being engaged with the other owners of women's focused sports bars around the country. We call ourselves the Women's Sports Bar Collective, and it's like a really strong support system of literally all of the owners. Most of us are queer, all of us are women, or in the LGBTQ community of some kind. So having that support system has really been a nice way to get through the hard times. So I would say engage with the other owners. You know, it's not hard to find us via email, via socials, whatever. Don't be scared to reach out. We are very much in this together. Because this is a movement that we've all kind of bootstrapped ourselves to do.
Absolutely.
It's not necessarily the easiest sell to get investors. it's a risk. I mean, being in the restaurant business is risky.
Yeah.
Banks don't love it, so it's hard to get loans.
Yeah.
But we've all navigated that to this extent so far. And so we're here to help for sure. So I would say, I've never owned anything. I've worked in bars and restaurants, but it's been a decade since I was doing that, So I took a leap of faith, and I really bet on myself in this and the community. Definitely make sure you have the community backing behind you. Because one thing, I didn't really think about was, okay, like, what are we going to do on the nights when there isn't anything really drawing people in sports wise?
Right.
So start thinking about that like holistically as a bar, think about it as a community space.
Yeah.
We're going to start hobby nights, and we're going to start,
I love that.
Yeah, we're going to do, other things to bring people in, where it's not just focused on sports, because we are really focused on the community and wanting to be a safe community space, in addition to rooting on our favorite teams.
I mean, if it helps. So obviously this is our first time walking in, and I immediately felt that because one of the first things I see on the wall is support trans athletes. Yeah. And I was just like, I'm buying that shirt before we leave. So it's very, for folks who haven't been in this space, it's very bright and welcoming. And I love the colors, and everybody, are chill, like welcome in. So you've already done that. Is what I'm saying. So I think that other folks, if you haven't been in, please do come in because this is wonderful.
Great.
But yeah, I completely understand that. And I think craft night would be, I mean, I know several people who would come down for a craft night, who aren't sports folks, where like crafts, I'm in,
Sure.
So absolutely.
Love to hear it. That's that really is so important to us, because I love what y'all are doing, because we don't ever want sports to be ostracizing or it's one of the greatest things that ever came into my life, because it gave me friends, it gave me community, it gave me a sense of purpose and confidence. And so we always say, come watch a game, like meet a friend, say hi to the person next to you. When we get full up, there are always tables that maybe 2 people are sitting at a 4 tops, and we always ask if someone's willing to share those other 2. And it just kind of helps you build kind of a friendship or a community naturally. And what y'all are doing goes really in line too with our focus on wanting to do education classes.
Yes. Let me know. I can come down. We can afford it.
Yes. Wanting to do 101 classes and stuff. Like,
I would absolutely take that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And here's the thing, like I grew up around, I was the only girl in my family, and I grew up around men who knew sports and who, knows everything about sports. They say they do. And I would ask questions, and they would look at me like, why are you asking me this? Like, and I just stopped asking questions,
of course,
because it's, and I'm sure they didn't mean it like that, or maybe they did, I don't know, but it became such an intimidating thing for me.
Sure.
And so when Ashley was first like, June, let's do this. And I'm like, I don't know about sports, man. And she's like, that's the point.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I was like, are you sure? And we literally say on each podcast, like, if you come here for expertise, you are not in the right place, because we're learning as we go. And that's what the whole point is, to make it more accessible. And I think that's what you've done here, is you've made it more accessible.
Thank you.
And so, I think this is fantastic. And I really appreciate you sitting down with us today. So I know you're busy and you've got a bar to run. So no, it was so nice to meet you. I really appreciate it.
Love being on. Please, love to be on again. And we'll keep you posted on our 101 nights. We just did PWHL 101 the other day, and we didn't market it very well, so I'm hoping to do it again. And get more people into it.
All right. Well, that would be on your social though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So we'll make sure to.
Our social is at the Dub KC, Instagram, Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. At the Dub KC. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, without a doubt.